A very good evening to you all. Thank you for joining us here at Hochanda for the next one-day special. This is the launch hour, remember. We've got two shows tonight and a very special guest as well. It's all about Creative Slimline and DL Nestables. Now, we've got lots of lovely dies for you as well. We've got great savings for you. And in fact, I'm going to say right now, if you're not a Freedom member, you do want to be joining because it is a why not deal. Now, if you're not a Freedom member, you do have a £10 saving. That's great, isn't it? But as a Freedom member, look at the saving, $18.99. So it does make it a why not deal. And we can split this down three ways as well. So let's show you the details there. 3 payments of £26.98. Now, these are lovely as well. I'm going to give you the item number 876850, and then we'll have a little look through everything. And then also we'll really bring home with you, I think, you know, the value of what you're getting here, because you're getting an awful lot of dies for your money. In fact, there are 53 individual dies here. Now, they are Slimline and DL Nestables, but that doesn't mean that you just have to make DL cards, does it? You can do all sorts of wonderful things with these. You can put hinges on them, cut over the page, join them together. You could fold them in half the other way, make mini albums. There's lots and lots of options. Now you can see there how many different dies you're getting with different designs, straight edges, we've got stitch in there as well, we've got kind of a distressed edge going on, we've got scalloped edges as well. In fact, there's an awful lot for your money. Remember, if you're not a Freedom member, you do want to think about joining. Item number 876850, just another reminder, just for a second, of the item number that you need for the one-day special. There we can show you the breakdown. In fact, this is your Freedom page, $5.97 for a month. That's all it is. So if you join for a month, look what you're saving here. The Freedom saving, including postage, is $8.99 plus that $3.95, which totals $12.94 on top, of course, of your fee there for the month. Now, we have got a very special guest with us, joining us live via Skype, and it's Lou Collins. I'm so delighted to see Lou. I've not worked with her for a while, and I think she's ready to say hello to us all. And I know she's got lots of demonstrations ready and waiting. Very good evening to you, Lou. How are you?
Hello, good evening.
Are you okay? Are you well?
Yep, I'm very, very well, thank you. How are you?
Wonderful. Well, I'm very well also. Thank you very much, Lou. Now, tell us about the one-day special. We've got an awful lot of dies here, 53 dies in total.
Yeah, so 53 dies. I mean, you're going to be doing all sorts with these. We're looking at your card bases, your apertures, your frames. Your matting and layering is going to be absolutely perfect as well. And don't forget, you said perfectly, Catherine, how you can be folding these into pockets and mini albums and smaller cards as well. So they're the actual card base there. So there's so much you can do with these. They're like a crafting essential, aren't they? They're a staple for your crafting stash.
Definitely. We've just been looking at some wonderful samples there as well. Some amazing samples, absolutely gorgeous. Lou, I know you've got lots of demonstrations lined up for us as well using these. We've also got an inspirational video. I think we might see that a little bit later. But Lou, what have you got in store for us during this hour?
Okay, so I'm going to be mixing those nestable dies along with some other dies that I've spied beside you, Catherine, as well from Apple Blossom. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a mix of everything that's on the show tonight.
Wonderful. Well, we can't wait to see what you do have in store for us. So let's have another look for the moment of our one-day special, of course. So again, we'll just remind you there, don't just think about dies and your DL cards. Think way past that as well. They're so, so versatile. Now, available individually as well. I'm saying individually, we've got pairs for you. So as you can see, the top and the bottom. I think that's how it works. Is that how it works? It is, yes. Oh, it's side by side. So this is one pair, another pair at the bottom, and the same on the other side as well. Now, as pairs, £24.98. You can find them on the website. They are available as those pairs, but of course the saving, or the biggest saving, of course, is with the one-day special, especially if you've joined that Freedom Club. So do take advantage of those savings. Now, we do have other things to tell you about as well. So the next item, now this is from Apple Blossom. Absolutely gorgeous stamps here. We've got a paper pad as well. In fact, we've got a whole collection. Let's have a look at the stamps first of all. You can see we've got sentiments, beautiful, beautiful fonts again. Love it when you get the mix of the uppercase, the lowercase, the different style of fonts as well. Lou, are you still there with us? Can you talk us through this particular set? This is lovely, isn't it?
Yes, of course. I absolutely adore these. I've been working with these the last week or so, getting ready for the show, so I can really hopefully show them off as much as possible. Really pretty. I think a dandelion, albeit it's actually a weed, isn't it? But I just think they are so, so pretty. We all loved them as children, didn't we?
Definitely.
Blowing the dandelion clocks. And tied in with butterflies as well. You've very much got that sort of spring feel to it. Along with of course, you've got the bouquet there as well. So you've got all the circles. You can do lots of layering, stamping, stenciling, and of course you've got the matching paper pads as well. So lots of different techniques that can come out of these.
Lovely. And of course we do have that paper pad, which we will have a look at when we've had a good look at these stamps. Lots of detail in there, the florals inside the wings. Do you know, it gives you the opportunity, Lou, doesn't it, to stamp and emboss, or go, you know, go crazy with your colours if you want to as well.
Yeah, you'll be giving all my demonstrations away, Catherine.
Oh,
but
sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm joking. Stamping and embossing these butterflies is stunning. The detail picks out beautifully, and those papers are amazing. I've never seen anything like these. They're beautiful.
They are absolutely gorgeous, aren't they? Look at this. I mean, you can see very soft, very muted there, but absolutely wonderful. You can, of course, stamp on top of this. You can spritz, you can emboss, you can do all those different things as well. There are 24 sheets in the paper pad. They are 180 GSM, so virgin almost onto a lightweight card there as well. Now, we've got how many different designs? 6 different designs there. 4 of each. You can see them on the front. They're very, very pretty, Lou. I love the fact that they're nice and soft colours. They're all almost diffused as how they're created there as well. But if you want to give that, you know, that pop of colour, that vividness to them as well, you could overstamp, you could spritz, you can do all those different things as well.
Absolutely. Again, those papers are definitely hinting towards springtime with those pastels.
They most certainly are. Oh, can't wait for that. Now, the price, £33.95, a £5 saving, item number 953314. Oh, wait and see what we've got for you next. Now, Daisy May Designs. Now, we've got more stamps, but these are very, very different. I think you probably recognise Daisy May. It's a company that comes here regularly to Hochanda as well. Now, Lou, tell me about these. These are really, really cute, aren't they? I'm smiling already. I can't help but smile when I see that first stamp there with the dog with the envelope in its mouth.
Oh, they're gorgeous. So Daisy May is all hand drawn by the lovely Claire Rowlands. These have only actually recently been launched, so they're brand new. Really, really beautiful design. So this is Love is in the Air collection. But you've got dogs in there, you've got cats, you've got parrots, and then you've got your gardening theme there. Yeah. So with the little flower cart and all the different plants that you can mix and match. Each of the stamp set has sentiments that you can add in, and the sentiments, a lot of them are little puns and things. So different to something that you'd usually find in your sentiment stamps. And I love the way you can build up scenes and build up really fun images with these.
They are really lovely, aren't they? I mean, one of the stamp sets that we just looked at there was a little blackboard or an easel. You could easily write a little message in there or stamp something in there as well. So do look at every one of the stamps in this set. You've got an awful lot for your money. Again, 39 stamps in total. You're getting 5 sets. Oh, look at that, so long. I love it, long and the short of it, I love you. You see, those dogs, oh, if you're an animal lover, these are going to work their magic, aren't they, for all those different occasions, for male, female, of any age as well. Well, only £33.99 is the price, a £3 saving. Remember, you are getting 39 stamps here, 379792. There you can see those lovely parrots as well. They're so in love, aren't they? Oh, gorgeous, gorgeous. Now, we have got more to show you as well. In fact, we're staying with Daisy May and we're moving over to dies now because we've got some cross-stitch dies for you as well. Now, when we say cross-stitch, we don't mean kind of the stitch and cross-stitch in a sense. You can see the detail around the edge of the dies. I love these with the distressed edge as well. Now, you've got different options here. So the square and the circle is the first option. You can see there, we've got the heart and the star, and then the tags and the labels as well. These are beautiful. We have got some samples to show you as well, and you'll really, really understand how detailed these are and how effective these dies are as well. A £3 saving, £24.98, 667626. Don't forget, you've got the choice there. 3 different options. Really, really good value once again. Look at those lovely cards as well. Now, the stamps that have been used on those cards aren't the same ones as the previous bundle, but they're very, very similar, so you can take inspiration from these here. Aren't they lovely with the bright colours as well? So if you want to go for the dies, 667626. Now we can have some more inspiration. Of course, we've got lots of goodies on the show, so let's give you that inspiration right now. Oh, some lovely samples there. And of course, we're just scratching the surface with the ideas there as well. So for the one-day special, we can also offer individual pairs for you. Does that make sense, individual pairs? Well, it does, doesn't it? We've got them on the website. We've got details at the bottom of the screen as well. So if we're looking at the bundle here, the two side by side, this is how you're putting the pairs together. You will find them all, of course, on the website there. The different edges to those rectangles as well. These are your slimline. Don't forget, you've got savings on every one of these. Those savings are carried over to the one-day special, then we give you extra savings on top. So they do add up, don't they? They certainly do. Maybe you've got favourites, maybe you've got a tight budget at the moment, or maybe you want to go for the full collection and take advantage of those savings. Well, I know Lou has got some fantastic demonstrations lined up for us as well, and I'm hoping she's ready to get going as well. Lou, are you ready?
Absolutely, I'm here for you. So I'm going to start with those nesting dies. Now, what I've done is I've put all of mine onto magnetic sheets. So I've got all of my slimline on one and then all of my DL on the other. And if you're wondering what's the difference, because of course they do look quite similar when they're side by side. The DL is your traditional DL. We've had this around for many, many years. So that's more your traditional cards. Your slimline is actually more of a contemporary look, more of a modern look, because it's actually quite a new shape, isn't it, the slimline?
They're very versatile.
It's really in fashion now, I think. So I'm going to be using the slimline scallop, but I'm going to mix it because the beauty of these is that they also nest within each other. Okay, so just looking at the slimline ones, I think I'm going to take a few of these straight ones and build up a frame. So I'm just going to make sure that there we go, that sits in there. I might use the smaller ones actually, we'll see. Yep, that sits nicely in there. And then I'll take the next small one. These are wonderful because you've actually got really small increments beside each one. So between one and the other, you don't have a massive jump, a really big gap.
Yeah,
so you can really get some nice fine borders. Okay, so pop those away. And I'm going to be working with some basic cardstock. So what I want to do is create something, maybe if you're a beginner card maker and you're wondering how you can really get the most out of these sort of frames or these dies. So I'm not using pattern paper. I'm going to really go with quite basic tools and techniques for this one. So the first thing I'm going to do is die cut two of these together. Now I'm going to go with the larger of the two rectangles I chose. And you can die cut these together at the same time as long as you're taping them down. So I just use a repositionable tape there.
Okay, yeah, lovely.
Making sure, now I'm just doing this by eye, but just making sure that I've got an even border all the way around, which that looks to be. I'm going to just run that through my die cutting machine. Now I've purposely not brought in my really large die cutting machine, just to sort of prove to you that you don't need a really large one. Some of these look quite big, don't they? But they'll still go through an A5 machine, even the largest ones. So from this, I'm going to get two things. I'm going to get a really pretty frame there.
Oh, nice.
So it's nice, isn't it? You could even just use that with some acetate behind, or maybe a shaker card, perhaps. And then, of course, in the centre, you've got that rectangle. If you keep all of your rectangles, I mean, people might call that waste, but if you keep all of these, eventually you're going to have lots of mats and layers that you can fit together on other cards for your quick cards when you're in a hurry. Just take the tape off these because I want to show you as well.
These would be great for your penny sliders, Lou, wouldn't they, as well, because of the length of them?
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. Oh, we had penny sliders on a few months ago. These would have been absolutely perfect. But yeah, so you've even got a really nice sort of a wave effect to the waist there that you could
Yeah.
cut out again with a slightly larger die and then use that as another frame. So
yeah.
all of these pieces I would keep to the side and not throw out. Then I'm going to come to a darker colour, and I want to cut the same frame again. So that's that die, and I'm just going to cut the slightly smaller rectangle. So we can see a little bit of the purple peeking out from the middle. Now just move my mat because my mat's slightly bent there, slightly bowed. And I'm just going to tape, if I tape this one down, just going to place my frame that I've already cut in just onto my die there. I'm not tacking it down, I'm just placing it so I can get an idea of whereabouts this one is going to sit.
Oh,
so
yes,
it's nice
that's a good
and
tip.
central. Yeah, and you get a nice even border then, because you're going to see that border peeking through the middle. So tack that down, a couple of pieces of tape there. There we go. I don't know what I'd do without my repositionable tape. So just gently remove that border now, because it's going to get caught up. Come on. There we go. So that looks fairly even. I'll just cut that one out as well. There's one. What have I done with my other plate? Oh, it's under there. I'm working in a much smaller area today than I'm used to when I'm at the studio.
You're doing a great job, Lou. Don't worry about that.
Oh, thank you. It's always so different, isn't it? There we go. So now I've got two frames that I can layer up, and of course you can repeat this. You could do this with some colours. So I've got a pale lilac here. You could incorporate a really dark or even a dark purple or a black there, and you could do smaller and smaller frames showing that border off inside. I'll show you what I mean in a moment when I put these together. But you can really extend on this if you want to. But it's a nice, simple, quick and easy way of framing something like a sentiment. So you see there,
I can see an instant bookmark there as well with the piece that you've just taken out of the die, Lou.
Exactly. So there's those two together, mat and layer. That's perfect matting and layering because, of course, they're two nesting dies that are side by side. So that already, like you say, bookmark or some matting and layering for another card, whatever it may be.
Definitely. Well, I'll just let everybody know 10% of the one-day special is already gone. Off to a busy start, so please make sure you do check those baskets out. Don't forget, become a Freedom member as well. It is a why not deal. So if you are purchasing the one-day special, and you're not a Freedom member, join, because you will still make those extra savings. There you can see the breakdown there on the screen. You know, even after you've paid for that price for the month, the $5.97, and you can opt in and out, remember, you've still got the savings because of the postage, the extra savings, and we've got Flexi on this as well. A Freedom saving inclusive of postage is £12.94. There we go. You often see those bigger savings for Freedom members as well, remember that. OK, Lou, sorry about that. Just a little update.
That's absolutely fine. I'm really glad, because these, you're just going to absolutely adore these. I think they're going to be something that you're going to put, you know, the people who have magnetic sheets on their walls and the back of their doors. These are going to be the ones that stay out on those sheets all the time.
Definitely.
So my matting and layering, I've got, again, plain cardstock, but I'm keeping within the same sort of tones with those purples. So onto a card base that has actually been cut with one of the largest straight edge slimline dies. Then the matting and layering, which of course I know fits perfectly inside because it's another one of the dies. Then I have already gone ahead and I put foam tape on the back of the purple frame.
Lovely.
And again, foam tape on the back of the white one. I'll stick these together in a moment, but you can see the effect that we're starting to get. So you've got that really deep shadow box effect there. I'm not sticking these down. I want to do some stamping in a little while.
That looks really effective.
Yeah, it looks really pretty. And by using dies, you know everything lines up beautifully as well.
Of course.
So just popping that to the side, I'm going to do some stamping. Now I'm going to bring in those apple blossom dies.
Oh, nice.
The butterflies, they're so pretty. So we've got two different designs in them. This one has really pretty flowers in, and this one has like those dandelion heads and some foliage as well. We've even got the smaller butterfly down the bottom too. I'm going to be using a stamping platform just because I'm going to be doing embossing, so I want to make sure I've got lots of ink. So I'm going to do a few different impressions.
Lovely stuff.
So on parchment as well, actually stamping and heat embossing on parchment is absolutely my favourite, one of my favourite effects in paper crafting. It looks beautiful. So I've already run, I don't know if you saw me, I've run over an anti-static bag on my parchment.
Yeah, lovely stuff.
I'll just bring that up a bit. I'm going to use the medium-sized butterfly here. Position that on my paper. There we go, so pick that up. Now, let me see, I've actually got a brand new embossing ink. So especially for today.
A nice clean one there, Lou, I can see.
Yeah, really clean because it's brand new. It's just come in the post today, so I haven't even used it yet.
Oh,
so
wow.
I had to tap it with my finger to make sure it was wet. But it's just the thing with clear inks, you just have to check, don't you? So obviously clear ink onto parchment, you're not going to see a lot. So I am just going to do a couple of layers of the ink. I've got a very squeaky platform as well. But I'm going to do white embossing, and it just looks so pretty when it's done. So just grab my white powder there.
I'm just thinking as well, Lou, for someone that's maybe just new at paper crafting, maybe they've just got their first die cutting machine, this is a great bundle to really get someone going,
Yes.
isn't it? They're going to have everything they need to last them for a long time.
Absolutely, yeah, this is really going to set you up. I mean, these sort of dies will never go out of fashion. You'll find you're bringing them out time and time again. When we have some dies where they are as such in fashion, don't we? And we might use them a few times, but then we don't really find the right occasion for them and things like this. But these can absolutely be every single occasion. There we go. And of course not.
Oh, we can see that. That looks so pretty already. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I will just pop my powder back because I'm very clumsy. So put that back into my pot. So my little powder catcher there is just an old card base that has got a bit of a mark on it, so I won't use it. I am just going to use my heat gun, so it might be ever so loud. It's right under the microphone, so it might be a bit noisy. But I'll do this as quickly as possible.
Okay, now we'll watch Lou do that. Just as we're watching Lou with the heat gun, of course, we'll just give you the details, our reminder of the Apple Blossom bundle. This is beautiful. Now, you do get the butterfly stamp, amongst many others as well. It's a complete collection. We can show you a picture of everything you get in there. So you've got the stencil, you've got 3 stamp sets, and you've got that beautiful paper pad, which is 8 by 8, 24 sheets in there. 6 different designs as well, 4 of each design, with a £5 saving. But if you're adding that into your basket with a one-day special, you can split it 3 ways as well. But the price is £33.95 and the item number is 953314. Look at that.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? So I've already got one cut out, so I've just cut that in advance. You didn't need to see me fussing cutting that out. Didn't take long at all, actually, because of the raised area of the embossing powder. You can almost glide your scissors around alongside it, so it's very quick and easy to do. So on my card, the reason I've not stuck these down yet is because I'm going to do some stamping. So my butterfly is going to go around that area, so I want to make sure I'm stamping in this area. And just to ensure that I'm in the right place, I'm just going to do myself a little bit of a line where the edges of my frame are, where my butterfly is, and also very roughly that's my centre line. Now that will be very faint, and I can erase that later once my ink's dried, of course. But for now I've got a little bit of a guide to help me plan whereabouts my sentiment's going to go. Now I've got lots of sentiments to choose from. Of course, we've got all of these ones from the Apple Blossom collection, but I want one that's quite thin. So which one did I plan on? I think it was, oh, You Give Me Butterflies, that's right. Of course it works perfectly.
Oh.
So pop my paper in. Now this will overlap the edges ever so slightly, but that's fine. As long as I don't have any ink up on my edges, I'll be okay. And I've got my lines there, so I know whereabouts I want to put my sentiment and where the centre line is. So that should then fit perfectly inside those frames.
Lovely.
In fact, I can now drag my paper more into the middle of the stamping block. There we go. And this time I'm just going to use a black ink, so I'm not going to use my heat gun for this. I'm going on to a textured cardstock. So I'm going to stamp a couple of times to make sure I get the impression perfect. So just bring that over. There's one. As you can see, it's a little bit mottled just because it's that textured cardstock. So I'll just go over a couple of times.
And is it a good tip as well, Lou, not to overpress on the stamps when you put the lid down on the platform, so you're not squashing the stamp? It's better to build up the ink rather than really sort of squash down on it.
Absolutely, because if you squash it, especially when you've got fine writing like this butterflies word, you're just going to squish all that ink out and it's really not going to be as neat anymore. So definitely it's easier to just keep going.
Isn't that fabulous?
It's beautiful, isn't it? And of course Valentine's is coming up, so this would be perfect. There we go.
You give me butterflies. So that is clever.
Yeah, it's lovely. Really, really pretty. Okay, so we can build our card up now. So my base I can pop on just with a wet glue because I'm going to be using foam tape for the other frames. I don't want too much foam on one card. See, that just fits. By using those dies, it just fits perfectly. To create a card base with these dies, of course, if you just fold a piece of paper and overlap the die very slightly over the score line, you then get a full card base.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm just wondering if I haven't got an eraser to hand, so I'll have to leave those pencil lines in just for now. Okay. The purple frame is the next one down, so I've got foam tape to remove.
You've done it so lightly anyway, Lou, we can't actually see it. Not here in the studio anyway.
Oh, good. Anyone who's got these big 50-inch TVs might be able to spy it, but hopefully not too much. There we go. And what I just love about this, these dies, is everything's so neat because it's all die form. It's not as if you've had to hand cut anything, and it just looks so professional, the finish.
It certainly does. And a lovely neat scallop on the edge of that particular die that you've got there as well.
Yeah, I love how it curves around the edge. So some scallops, I never know which one to say. It's scallops, isn't it? I don't know.
I know what one can be a seafood, but I've always said scallop for the, scallop. Maybe it's where you live.
Maybe it is, who knows. So there I've just got that that really deep frame there with the purple border around the inside. And then I'm just going to bend my butterfly. I'm actually going to apply glue to the middle. Okay. So the middle's going to look a little bit darker. So just a little bit of wet glue along there. And I'm actually going to put it on and almost scrape it off again so it's just tacky. Yeah. It's not really a wet glue. And I'm going to press this down into that frame or into the aperture. There we go. And because I've not got big blobs, you can't see the glue too much. And then the wings have lifted up and curled around the frame.
Oh, it's so then we've pretty. Got,
yeah, really pretty card. Really simple. Most people can do this with the tools they've got at home, even if they're a beginner. But that's just one way you can use all of those nesting dies, and there's so many more.
Oh, Lou, thank you so much. That's a lovely, lovely demonstration. So clean and fresh, isn't it? Love those apple blossom collections as well. Absolutely beautiful. But the one-day special, so much value in here as well. We're approaching 20% of the stock now gone. Now, you can go for pairs individually, but the value, of course, is in the one-day special itself. But we will go through those individuals for you as well. So the first one we're going to look at is the straight edge. Now, you are getting the slimline. You're also getting the DL as well. So there is a difference here. We sell that with the demonstration with Lou, of course, when she explained that at the beginning. So the straight edge, this is our option here. Now you've got 16 dies in total in that bundle, £24.98. Remember that £3 will carry over to the full collection, but there's £3 if you're just going for the pair, 309760. Now, then we have the scalloped edge. Now, this is the one that Lou's just been using in conjunction with the straight edge as well. So pretty. Again, you've got the DL and you've got the slimline again. Same saving, £24.98. You've got 13 dies in this pair. 336111 is the item number. Remember, all these will work on their own, but of course, the more die sets you've got, the more versatility you've got there as well. Now, perhaps you're loving the stitched edge. Well, we can offer those to you as well. So once again, again, you've got the DL and you've got the edge and the slim line there as well, the stitch edge with the slim line. So in total, you've got 15 dies in those. So another great pairing there, lots of detail in the edgings there as well, 507870. And then we have the torn edge, a little bit different this one as well, gives that distressed look. Really, really nice. Again, you've still got, you've got that stitching edge there as well, haven't you? You've got the slim line with a stitching edge, but you've also got the stitching in that distressed edge as well. We'll have a really good look at these. The DL, the torn edge as it's classed as there. Lovely detail. Absolutely gorgeous. Now there are 9 dies in total in this pairing, all under item number 863576. And once again, a £3 saving on that bundle. Now the one-day special, remember, you're getting all of those 4 pairs, so 8 die sets in total. So you don't have to choose, do you? You're going to get everything, and it's such a good deal as well, because we're almost at £25, aren't we, for the pairing there? So you can basically round that up to £100. You can see as a non-Freedom member, you're saving £10. If you're a Freedom member, you are saving £18.99. Remember, we've already got those £3 carried over as well. So it is a why not deal. So if you are purchasing as a non-Freedom member, do consider joining because you'll still save more money. 876850 is the item number that you need. And in total, you're getting 53 individual dies. Just a reminder of some of the samples there as well. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, there's so many ideas here, just looking at these few samples. But to be honest with you, we are literally scratching the surface. We've mentioned using these with the albums, making little pocket folds, things like that. Little albums in their entirety, if you want a small version as well. You could concertina these together in many different ways. So you certainly have got lots and lots of options. What beautiful samples we've got there as well. So don't miss out on yours. Make sure you are checking those baskets out. Right, now then, Lou, are you ready for another demonstration?
I am,
Wonderful
yes.
stuff.
Okay, so we're going to go a little rainbow, and I'm actually going to do 2 cards in one here. So keeping it basic still, all I've got is different coloured cardstock, the dies, so I'm actually keeping with the straight edge dies as well, but this technique can be done with absolutely any of those nesting dies that you've got there. I've already started cutting because there's a lot of cutting involved in this card, but it is so worth it in the end. So I've chosen my rainbow colours, really simple, just go from red, orange, yellow, green, blue and purple. Of course you can add in like a violet, a more pinky colour as well if you want to. And I've started cutting out from the largest nesting die. So all of them have been cut out, sorry, with the large frame, okay, on the outside. So I've cut out, I think it's 6 colours, I can't count, 6 colours from each cardstock with the large frame, all exactly the same. I've then cut out the next smallest or the next largest die down from the red. Okay. And then the next one down from the orange and so on and so forth, down to the yellow, down to the green. So I'm just going to do the last 2 layers. And the way I'm doing them is by using the previous layer to line it up, just as I did lining up with the frame in the last demonstration. So I'm just going to place this over the blue, take the next frame down and just pop that inside. Okay. So you can get a nice, again, a nice even border.
Now, Lou, you know we've been saying 53 dies, there's so many dies here. We've just done a little count up and we think there was a mistake. We were outdoing everybody by 1 die. There's actually 54 dies in total, so we've just changed the details on the screen. Better to give than take away, isn't it? So even more for your money. Wow.
Oh, definitely. Lovely. Either way, you're just going to have so much to play with. I was stuck for demonstrations for this because I want to show them off to the full potential. I'm thinking, so I don't know what time I'll get after this demonstration, but I have got a little technique to show you on how you can make a little pocket out of them as well quite easily. And the scalloped ones look really lovely like that. So fingers crossed we get time for that at the end. We'll see. Okay, so there's one of my dies cut very quickly. Now, what I'm doing is I'm piling up the excess, all of the waste there, and keeping my frames here. So one more, so I'm taking the next smallest one down. So it's a really good idea to have these all in front of you in order, in size order. And again, cut the next smallest. So you can probably see where we're going. We're going to have a nice rainbow border.
We certainly
are. Now, with this card, if you want to have it as a really special mantelpiece sort of card, or even something that goes in a box envelope rather than your flat envelopes, I would be putting all of these layers together with foam tape. I'm not going to do that tonight purely because of the time it would take to do that, but it would look amazing. It would be about 1 inch deep, I think. But it would look lovely.
It certainly would. Now we've just been doing a few more maths actually. Now as a Freedom member, which you'd be a fool not to join if you're not one already for the deal we've got here, it works out, now we've discovered there's 54 dies, £1.50 per die. Now if you went for a cup of coffee, if you called us somewhere and you got a nice cup of coffee, you'd look at spending maybe £3, something like that, on a nice cup of coffee. You could get 2 dies for that price. Just think of it that way. It's such exceptional value. It really, really is. Really is. It gets better and better, Lou, doesn't it?
That is, and like I say, these are not dies that you're going to only be able to use for certain occasions either. So you're not only going to bring them out on birthdays or Christmas. They'll be for so much more, and not just your card making either.
Definitely not.
So now starting to put these together, I'm starting with the bottom die, which for me has been my purple. It's so warm in here, my glue's started to dry up. It's just as if I'm in the studio there, Catherine. It's warm and the glue's dried up. I
think these glues have stage fright, you know. I think that's what it is.
I think so, because I never have this issue at home, ever. And I'm sure my house is nice and warm. So just going to glue these together now. So as you can see, the outsides are all exactly the same. This makes for a really sturdy card. And if you love rainbows, this is perfect. I'm going to go around the outside. That's a little bit easier. And because I'm gluing it flat, I don't need to be perfect with my gluing either. There won't be anything to lift up.
Oh, see it starting. I'm loving these rainbow colours.
Oh, I adore rainbows. I've only just recently got into the whole rainbow thing with card making. It wasn't really anything I ever did. I never thought about it. But you know what? If I'm scrolling through inspiration galleries and things like that online, it's always the rainbow projects that catch my eye. Yeah. And likewise, if ever I post on my social media rainbow projects, they're the ones that get the most likes. I suppose, again, they catch people's eyes really quickly. So there we go. And then the last very, very thin one, the red one. So again, now, this is just my straight edge. As soon as you've added
the orange there, Lou, we can see that rainbow's really coming through. So it's going to look fabulous with the last framework on then the red.
Oh, it is. And then when you place this alongside the white of the card base, it just makes all those colours pop. So just being careful. Obviously, I'm not being as careful as I usually would. So I've got a little bit of I was going to say ink, a little bit of glue seeping out at the edges. That will dry clear though.
Oh, that's looking
lovely.
So
I've got a really thick frame now. That is really sturdy because, of course, there's 6 layers of cardstock there. Now that is going to sit perfectly in there. I'm going to do, well, 2 things. Usually I'd use my pencil, but just to show you another way, if you don't want to have to get in and erase your pencil, you can use a pokey tool and just do a light scratch.
Just score it, yeah.
There we go, just a tiny little bit. And then when you take that away, I can now see where the centre of my card base is. And I'm going to choose another one of these sentiments. So let's see. Oh, okay. I've got to have "You Are My Happy," because absolutely, I mean, this is definitely one for a nice happy sentiment, isn't it?
No, the fact that you've used the straight edges there, would that work in the same way with the scallops as well? Could you do the same style card but with the scalloped edges?
Absolutely, you can do that. Obviously with the scallops you get the different look. So oh, I've just thrown it in the bin behind me. The waist from the scallops, of course, are that wave shape. So you'll get the different looks, but then I haven't even started putting these together yet, and that's going to make a completely different card again with the scallops. So you will have 2 very different card shapes there. But yeah, absolutely, you can do that. So just having a look at where the middle of my card is, roughly.
That's another lovely sentiment. It's been busy on this collection, actually, the apple blossom, with all the different stamps and the paper. You get the stencil in there as well, don't you?
You do. You get the stencil that's got the dandelion heads on it. They're calling it the fireworks one. So it could be fireworks, but it could also be like your flowers blowing in the wind, things like that. So there we go. I'd bring out my big stamping platform ideally to stamp that a couple of times to make that clearer. But that's just one. And again, a very basic card, but I love the rainbow colours. And then, of course,
that is so,
we've got
so
all
nice.
of this waste. I'm not going to waste this at all. We're going to I'm going to quickly pop these down. So yeah, definitely straight edge with these. And this I've used DL, but you can do the same with the slimline. Doesn't matter either way, whichever look you're going for. You could, rather than doing it rainbow, maybe rainbow's not your thing, you could do it all in sort of tonal colours. So you could go from pale blue to dark blue, or go through blues and greens, or just your reds and oranges and yellows. You know, it's entirely up to you how you do it. Oh, what would be really nice actually for a masculine card is to go from black and through different shades of grey.
Oh, that would look nice.
White. Oh, yeah, there's lots and lots of different options. So,
controversial comment from the gallery. Actually, there's been a good suggestion from Mr. Baker in the gallery. You know what you're doing now, Lou?
Yes.
Chris is saying if you put that on the back of the You Are My Happy card, so it's kind of got the positive and negative, you could have a double-edged card that you can turn around. You could have different sentiments on there as well.
So, does it mean like that?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, you could. That would be really lovely. Or you could have this on the inside.
Oh, that would be nice.
It would be quite a weighty card, wouldn't it? So
extremely.
There's the opposite. So far, these two have both been made using just that one die set at the moment. This is one of the stars that you've got there from the Daisy May collection. And I'm Dotty About You, of course, is from one of those stamp sets as well. I think it's the one with the Dalmatian on it.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
It's really pretty. I'm just going to pop that in there. Now, both of these cards would definitely benefit from some sequins, which would indicate...
now you're talking.
Yeah. Don't have any to hand, but, you know, you'd finish those off with some sequins and things, or buttons or something. But there's two very basic cards from that one die set. Really nice and bright and cheery.
Do you know they are? They're making everybody smile, Lou, here at the studios. Yeah. I'm sure at home everybody's feeling the same. They're absolutely wonderful.
Brilliant.
Wonderful. Oh, thank you, Lou. I can tell you, everybody at home watching, and Lou as well, over a quarter of the stock has gone. I mean, you can be creating those wonderful designs that Lou has just created, or just taking inspiration from those, and also, of course, making something along those lines with different sentiments, you know, different attachments, different embellishments as well. Now, the one-day special details on the screen. Remember, we can split that cost 3 ways as well. And you have got that great save in there. But we do want to remind you about the wonderful Apple Blossom collection as well, because Lou's been using the sentiments from there. In fact, we're going to look at those first. So we've seen a couple of them now, but you know, there's so many in here. I love the text in here, the font style, the fact that you've got the uppercase and the lowercase as well. Do you know, there's something for all occasions, or just those thinking about you cards, or just to let somebody know that you know, you're missing them. You know, butterfly wishes. It doesn't have to be a birthday. It could be whatever you wish there. Let's just lift that up so we can see what's underneath. You Give Me Butterflies was the one that Lou used, wasn't it, on that first card? And then hello. I mean, it doesn't need any more than that, does it? Hello. You know, if you just want to pop a card through your neighbour's door, just to let them know you're thinking about them as well. If you've not been able to see each other and chat properly, then those cards are very, very important. Now we're looking at more of the stamps, those beautiful dandelion heads. We are calling them firework flowers, but you know, they can be whatever you want them to be, can't they? And we've got 2 sets there, other than the sentiments, because of course you've got the butterflies there as well. I've just realised that beautiful dandelion style flower in there as well. It's got little butterflies on the end of the stems. How pretty is that? So you've got those butterflies with, of course, the florals in the wings. You've got the butterfly with the dandelion in the wings. You've got the landing butterfly as well. You've got extra elements that will work in the background, or as bubbles or different things as well. And, of course, you've got the paper pad, which I am going to give you a reminder of. Really beautiful. 24 sheets in this. You can see the different designs on the front, but they're quite muted, so I'm going to open this up and just show you through the different designs. So you do get 6. These are so, so pretty, aren't they? Absolutely gorgeous. If you wanted to overstamp or emboss on the top, you certainly could do. You go with your sprays. You could probably emboss onto these as well. 180 GSM is the weight. They are absolutely gorgeous. Really, really pretty. Item number 953314 is what you need for the Apple Blossom collection, and it does carry that £5 saving as well. Now the Daisy May collection, this just brings a smile to your face as well. These are beautiful. You've got the dogs in there, you've got the bicycle, we've got the parrots in there. In fact, there's all sorts of goodies in here. You see, I'm looking at the one there with the plants on the barrow, and of course you've got that board, so you could write in a sentiment, just put initials in there, a date in there, so that's very useful. The little lovebirds, the two little parrots that are cuddling up together, the different dogs there as well, particularly like the one with the envelope in his mouth as well. You are getting 5 stamp sets here. 39 stamps in total. Happy Mother's Day is one of the sentiments in with that lovely floral one. That's not far away, is it? So that, you know, that's going to come in useful very, very soon. I think it's the 14th of March, Mother's Day. Yes, it is. Just had that confirmed. 379792. That's in the UK, of course, because it does alter depending on where you are in the world. 33.99 for all of those stamps. 39 in total. £3 saving on those. Now, we had a hint of the cross-stitch dies from Lou there as well, and we have got those for you. Now, we've got 3 different options here. So the squares and the circles, these are really good quality dies as well, really good thick metal. Now this one is actually in the lead, the squares and the circles. Then we do have the heart and the star as well. We've just seen one of the star ones being used. These are nesting dies again. And then, of course, you've got the labels and the tags together. So all those different options, they come in pairs. You've got a £3 saving, £24.98, item number 667626. They are such lovely detail. Now, we've brought something else in to show you as well, because this may be some use to you. This is one of the 7-day savers. If you're looking for some cardstock, this is a really good collection. You've got A6 cardstock, so the size is already cut. You've actually got 400 sheets here. 240 GSM. The colours may vary, but you're going to get a really lovely collection. 15 different shades. So in here, I mean, it will vary, but we've got some beautiful purples, almost a plum in there. We've got a tealy colour in there. We've got greys and creams and reds. In fact, you've got a mixture of brights, naturals and darks as well. So I'm sure you're going to get something very, very similar. Now, actually, the GSM will range a little bit. It's from 220 to 240, but you will get 400 sheets, all for £9.99. 382244 is the item number. Now, we've got time for another demonstration from our Lou, so we're going to head back over there now. Lou, we've got about 8 minutes left, if that's okay.
Okay, that's fine. I've got everything already made, so I'll be as quick as I can. The first thing I'm going to do is cut a base for my card. So I'm going to take a scalloped slimline, and then I'm going to mix that with a heart from the Daisy May collection.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay. Yeah, and mix them together. Why not? Because we do, don't we? When we get our craft items home, we don't just stick to using one brand with its own brand. So I'm going to sit this. Now this just sits, this smaller heart just sits inside of here. I've got to be careful. I've got a little bit of purple on there from my purple cardstock. I don't really want that transferring onto my white. But I'm going to run those through together because I've got them taped down.
Lovely stuff.
So,
now, everybody at home, if you are wanting those cross-stitch dies, the details at the bottom of the screen for the set that Lou's using at the moment. And, well, you've got those options, haven't you? And then the side of the screen, of course, for the 1-day special. Remember, you can split that 3 ways. So if you're going for any of the Daisy May dies, pop them into your basket with the 1-day special and split the cost on those as well.
These cross-stitch dies just work so well with the style that Claire has with her Daisy May dies. So that's the aperture that I've got. So you've got that sort of slightly distressed heart there. Now the heart you can use for something else again, so that's popping to the side, as well as the dies there. And then I have cut the next larger scalloped frame as well, so that's going to sit really nicely. Here we go, behind there. Now I've used that paper pad from the Apple Blossom collection, which is really pretty. There we go, so that just fits perfectly on there. Now, I've already added some foam tape to a layer of this, and I've stamped a sentiment just underneath. So when I raise that, you can see that shadow, can't you, just in there? You
can, yeah.
By raising it on foam pads or foam tape, it really does make a difference. So it looks like a little aperture, and that will all sit nicely on that slimline card there. So I'll pop that to the side. Because very quickly what I want to do is just stamp. Where did I put it? I grabbed it. There we go. I knew I got it ready. Well, I thought I got it ready. I'm going to stamp these birds, these little lovebirds. They're so pretty.
Oh, they're so sweet, aren't they?
They really are. Now, I'm actually using this for a new home card. I'm doing it along with the branch that's in there, and then with the sort of heart shape behind. It's almost as if the heart is like the opening into their new home.
Oh, what a lovely idea.
It's just gorgeous. So how long do I have, Catherine? I'm just wondering if I have
about 5 minutes left, Lou.
Okay, I'll just do a quick bit of colouring just to show you how I started to colour one of these parrots.
Okay.
Parrots, birds, they could be any bird really, depending on how you colour them, couldn't they? So I've just started with a yellow tummy on them. So just starting from the neck and brushing down onto the tummy, and then you can put a little bit of colour in the wings. What I love about Claire's designs is if you're a beginner colourist, she makes it really easy for you. There's not too much detail, but there's enough to still look beautiful. She's just so clever. So I've added a little bit of green to the inside of the wing, and then I'm just going to go in with a nice bright blue in here and just blend everything out. So add blue to this wing as well. I've made sure both of my parrots on my finished piece are not identical either, so I've had some fun with a little bit of a different colour on that one. But where I'm just blending my yellow and my blue, if you're short of time and you don't want to do all the intricate blending of the colours, I definitely recommend whatever alcohol pens you're using is to grab yourself a clear blender, colourless blender, and just run that over the top, and that will help drag the colours into each other. And very often you'll find that if you let that sit, that will work. Sorry, Catherine, I was speaking over you.
No, it's okay. No, I'm just saying it's a lovely tip to share with us, actually.
Yeah, I think these pens, alcohol pens in particular, are quite scary for people to pick up and start using, but they really are very forgiving. So I'm not going to colour that anymore because I have got a couple already coloured in, but you can see how quickly that came together. I did add in these ones, and I've cut them out of course already, I added a little bit of shading. So just a very pale grey under the neck there, under the tummy, into the wings a little bit, and then I've got the other little parrot there in the green. I've cut out the branch as well, and that's really just a brown because it's got some detail into it already. And then what I did need to do was just take my scissors and just trim into the claw there of that parrot, and that just helped me position these on branches a little bit easier. I think I actually snipped into both parrots. There we go. So they can both sit on that branch perfectly. So if I bring in my card, yeah, they're really cute. They're really sweet together. So just start sticking these down.
I love how the tail is behind the branch now, because you've done that, Lou. It's made the tail sit behind the branch of the bird that's behind, if you know what I mean. There's two birds there. It gives you that depth. It gives you that perspective.
Absolutely, a little more dimension there, isn't there? Just brings it to life a little bit more. But yeah, really pretty. Otherwise, of course, the branches would have to be behind the tail or in front of all of their claws, which isn't quite right. So just lining those up again. Those scallop dies there, they're just perfect. They just sit and nest beautifully. And then these two, I'm just going to add a little bit of foam tape across. If I just bring this up.
Okay, we've got about a minute and a half left, Lou.
Yeah, no problem. Nearly finished this anyway. So I'm just tacking this down, but I'm making sure I include a little bit of the branch on the foam tape as well. So it's all one piece. There we go. And then this is just going to sit above the sentiment in the heart shape there. Enjoy your new home, that sentiment says.
Oh, I absolutely adore that. Lou, you've got such a knack of creating the most beautiful cards, keeping it simple, but every one of them just looks amazing. I love that. Three magnificent demonstrations there from Lou. Lou, thank you so much. We're into the last minute now. I can't believe how quickly that's gone as well. Lou, you're back at 8 o'clock, aren't you? I don't know if you're able to switch your camera so we can see you, or if it's too difficult, don't worry. We just want to say a proper goodbye. Now, 30% of the one-day special has now gone. Already in the first hour, this is the launch hour. Remember, Lou will be back at 8 o'clock with Janice. And of course, there's more shows tomorrow. We are very, very busy. I think it's starting to hit home now how versatile these dies are. I mean, you're getting so much for your money, especially now when we know we've got 54 dies in there. Works out at £1.50 each. 876 850. That's if you're a Freedom member. If you're not, remember, it pays to join. It certainly does when you've got an option like this and a one-day special like this. Lou, again, thank you so much. I'm so pleased we can just say goodbye for now, just properly, so we can see you as well. We can just bring you into shot. There you are. Wonderful
I'll see you
work.
in an hour.
Have you got a hint as to what's coming up later? Or are you going to keep it all secret?
Much the same, really. Much the same. Probably more of the apple blossom next time.
Lovely. Amazing stuff. Well, whatever you do, we know it's going to be something very, very special. A thank you there to Lou. Do make sure you make a date at 8 o'clock, and remember to check your baskets out as well. It's been a busy hour. This is the launch hour, remember. Just a final reminder, if you're not a Freedom member, do look at joining because you are making those extra savings. 876 850 is the item number for the one-day special. I'm going to hop over and see Zoe next, so do stay with us. The menu is coming up next.